that long day behind you. Good times lie ahead, with company worth keeping, that'll bash a smile on your head. Come on in, the door's open, you'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and lend our stories your ear. Cause we're talk at the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk at the tavern. Promising beer and bedlam. The talk at the tavern. Music, medicine, then some. The talk at the tavern. The song's over. Here we come.
And welcome to the Tavern, guys. I'm Travis Sivartime, author of an incredible series that's related to candlestick making. Not at all. That's our topic, by the way. I don't know. Google me. Okay, so let's introduce our co-host. Oh, wait, my vices. I got a 7LE Lumberjack here filled with Cornell and Deal Dark Cherry Cavendish. I'm probably going to smoke, and some Johnny Walker High Rye, which I've had plenty of, so I'm kind of high rye myself. Ed, what do you got?
Hey, nice to you to join us in the tavern tonight. My vices are water, cheese, and liquid apples again.
What kind of cheese?
Sharp, white, of course.
Like me.
Like you.
I eat
Like you, baby.
plenty of cheese right here.
I'm sure it is.
Who you passing on to? Quit. Let's.
I'm going to pass it on to Andrea because I've just lost my whole train of thought here.
You do.
Andrea Lachat here. I don't really have advice tonight, but I do have a glass of tea. It is in my stemless wine glass.
No knitting?
No, not tonight.
Okay.
How about you, Rachel?
Hi, I'm Rachel Morley, author of Let There Be Fire, which is a book absolutely about candle making.
Makes sense.
And my advice tonight are a glass of ice water and apple slices, because apparently I am a 7-year-old.
Now, what kind of apple slices?
I have Honey Crisp.
Okay, those are good. Who was I
Why else
talking
would I
to
have any?
recently? I was talking about Honey Crisp. Oh, see, he's got Honey Crisp.
He's
Somebody
got
was
apples.
eating some Honey Crisp apples recently, and I think they were roasted or something. I don't know. Anyhow, our topic tonight is candlestick making, because we've done a series with Rachel here, butcher, baker, candlestick maker, and it was Brie with the Honey Crisp apples. So let's raise our glass to those that shine light on our life, such as Andrea, who makes candles, my lovely other half, my better half, the woman that pays all the bills,
Ed?
Ed, here's to you, and Rachel.
I burn candles.
Hey, there you go. At both ends with your fucking schedule. Okay,
Ed lets there be fire.
so candle making. Andrea, you keep on snatching shit. Every time we get a really interesting bottle, especially something small, less than 3 inches tall, she's like, save that for me. I'm going to make a candle. What's the passion? Why?
I'm the same way. So, Andrea, I feel you. I'm 100% that way. We're saving the planet, Travis. We're recycling and repurposing, okay?
Right.
I don't know if you know this, but we're saving the planet.
Yes. And, well, not only that, when he's done with candles, I scrape out all the bits of all the candles around the house.
Yeah.
And make new candles in those little
Or big.
pots. Or big
Because
candles.
I'll buy scented candles, and she's like, give me the thing when you're done. When you can't burn anymore, and then she melts it down and adds it to hers and adds some scents and stuff. So let's talk about candle making for personal use here, guys, or professional use. Now, do either of you make them professionally?
Not anymore. But
Rachel?
Papa.
I have.
No, I don't. Hold on, I've got interference on my end, probably because I got shoddy internet.
Yeah, we've noticed you skippy a little bit.
Sorry, what was the question? I blipped out.
You ever make candles professionally to sell to other people?
Not professionally. Typically what I do is, like, there are a lot of gift givings.
Mm-hmm.
especially because I don't have a mailbox. I have to go to like an actual UPS for mail. Because when you live out as far as I do, people just go into your mailbox. Like, they don't care. They'll smack it open. It doesn't matter how secure you think your box is. They will just bust it open and take the shit.
You got to say
So,
mail in front of that. You can't just say how secure your box is.
so as a thank you to the girls who run the UPS, that they make sure I can cut in line. There could be 30 people in line, but they see me and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're the one that brings us stuff. I got your packages here, and do you want your mail too? Come on down." And yeah, I'll bring them gifts of like scented candles or whatever I've made. So
Bribery.
I there is definitely something to be said about when you have these peculiar home good hobbies and then you just gift them.
Well, when I went to when I was a member of a church, they would burn candles every service.
Yeah.
So I would get all the little bits of wax from it, and I would make new candles for them.
Can I clarify? I don't know if it matters. It matters to me apparently.
What?
When you say you're a member of a church, non-denominational, yeah?
It was all denominations.
Okay. Multi-denominational, as opposed to Catholic or Episcopalian or whatever.
Point is, candles. And you can use that instead of tossing it out and make new candles.
So what do you do? Oh, hold on. We got a question here. Or a comment or something. Both. Marlene says, so I tried melting leftover candles and filling them into a new container, etc. Now, when I tried that, but once they cooled, the center of each container around the wick had sunk in. Has that happened to you before? How does one prevent that?
It has happened. What I typically do, and usually if you have like that middle sinkage, it's usually because there's a lot of chemical in it with the wax you're using. A way that you can do that is it's been holding onto air. That's why it has like that nice shape. But then as it kind of cools off and that air escapes is when you get the depreciation.
Science.
So,
Nice.
So what you can do, and it sounds weird, take your jar and very gently just bang on the counter with it to get those air bubbles out.
No, that's fair.
Same thing you do with a cake.
With canning.
Yeah.
Ow.
So many things.
Yeah, sometimes the caveman method is just the best method.
That's how I fixed TVs in the 80s.
The TVs in the 80s?
They did. They were actually like just a box of people behind it dancing.
I mean, that's how my dad fixes his Wi-Fi. He goes up to the router and just bangs it.
Okay, and Bree confirms that because she says, or yourself if you need to make sure you're still working. Wait, did Bree just say she's got to bang herself?
I mean, there's a lot of DIY books out there, so like...
About banging yourself?
There are.
Go on, Rachel. Go on. Yes. You were saying about banging?
Sorry, I got carried away with banging everybody here, so...
So,
It happened.
what's the basic...
Too hard, banging too hard. Anyway, so yeah, that's how you're going to try and avoid depreciation anywhere on your candle or having like these little popped pockets. Because like if you've ever been that kid with a severe acne problem and you have like just acne pox that are left over, that's sometimes what a candle will look like because you didn't get the air out. Just like you need to kind of clean your face, you just need to bang on the candle.
So you're saying if you have acne, if you bang your face on the counter, it won't leave pock marks.
Yes, this is
Beautiful.
100%
Good advice for the
sound
teams.
science.
There you go, guys. Anything to add to that?
It's totally FDA approved. Wink.
Whatever the FDA does.
So if you want to make candles at home and you want to use things that you have, I've used Pringle cans
Oh,
to make a candle. Of course, you reuse the jars.
earwax.
only if you're Shrek. Um, so you can do that. Where was I going? You messed me up.
I don't know, but that was quick. That was good. You're right on that.
So if you want to do this at home, but you don't want to put all the money into the fancy equipment. This is how I started. Get a Pringles can or a long cardboard, not plastic, people. I used an old pan, an old pot, and then another pot that fit inside it to
Double
make
boiler.
double boiler. I use a Pyrex measuring cup in the double boiler, so it's easier just to pour the candles. So, I mean, you can use...
fancier than me.
Also, something else that works is go buy those religious candles from the dollar store. That's in the tall, thin glass things.
Well, that's already a candle.
It is, but once you burn it, you can refill it.
Oh, yes, you can. If you go to the grocery store, usually in the kosher section, they have paraffin wax. You can use that for a candle. I don't like paraffin wax as much, but it's also used for canning. There you go.
What do you use it for in canning?
Seal.
Don't-
Some people
Don't
seal
the cans seal themselves?
Some people seal the top with wax.
Ed, you use wax when you can?
We've talked about it. We've never really tried it, but yeah, you can.
Rachel, what about you? What do you got to add to this?
I got to add that anytime anyone in the Caribbean was canning something, wax was never mentioned. They just kind of were like, close enough.
Okay, what about the candle part?
For the candle part, I don't really like paraffin wax. I try and stay away from as much chemical-y stuff as possible. And even though paraffin is like, it's food grade, but I don't like it because it's not a clean burn.
Yeah,
So
it's
typically
smoky.
what I will use is like soy because it has a cleaner burn. Every time I try and do it with like tallow or beeswax, I always mess it up. And so I'm still practicing with that. But yeah, I've been looking for what makes a clean burn so you don't get like those black marks on the glass. And so it just doesn't have like a chemically feel to it. But it's just like a nice soft light. And it has a nice pleasant smell with your oils that you add, and it goes cleanly.
And if you use soy, you have to use it in a container because it cannot just be a freeform candle. It's too soft.
Exactly.
I found that out the hard way.
What happened?
I made a candle. I went to burn it with puddle.
Did you have it on a plate?
Oh yeah, always. This was
So it
a long
wasn't
time
like
ago.
in a jar?
No.
So you're saying you can make like taper or not? Can you make taper candles?
Yes, they do. I used to have a silicone mold,
Right.
and I had a spool of wick that's threaded through it, and you make the candle. When it's done, you pull it out. Do the next one.
You pull what out?
You pull it out by the string. You pull the taper candle out.
Where do you get those?
I'm sure Amazon has it. Candle making
probably.
stores. Etsy.
Very concise.
Google, people. You'll find it.
The way I learned to do something like that was very old school. I learned it when I took a field trip to Riley's farm out here in Southern California. If ever you guys are around, absolutely give them a visit. They do everything colonial style. It's really an experience if you get the chance. But they showed me, because during the field trip, that was part of the events, was candle making. It's the old school taper candle, just tall.
Yeah.
And it was that they had their wicks so that they could do like 5 to 10 at a time. They had it lined up on what's, for lack of a better word, what looked like a hanger.
Right.
It was actually an old school tool.
And it's a double
And
wick,
they
right? So it's
Yeah.
2 strings hanging down
It's
in an
actually
upside down
two.
U shape.
It's 2 candles. You
Right.
cut-
Yeah. And so they would do that and then just like kind of dip in, take out, and let it cool into the vat of hot wax that they had. And then as soon as that cooled, they dip it, and they just kind of kept doing that until it formed an actual candle shape. So it was a tedious thing, and I made a huge mess because I was like 9. But it was quite the experience. I have not done it since because I just don't have the time to do that.
So we've all seen these beautiful candles in the mall, or maybe we haven't.
Mhm.
But they've got these loops and these colors and these scrolls of colors. And
Mhm.
can you guys make those?
Yes.
How?
Yeah.
So
How?
how Rachel was saying with the dip,
Uh-huh.
you do that several times in different colors. And then when the wax is soft, that's when you take a knife and you slice it and then curl it over, and that's how you see the layers.
So Rachel, do you make candles for... I'm sorry, go on.
I've done it differently where um, for that in particular is it's typically going to be an unscented candle because otherwise like the essential oil messes with the color. Is I'll have it like start to kind of form so it's not a liquid wax anymore and have it start kind of forming a little bit solid and then add color to it and just fold it into itself
Oh.
and very quickly try and move it into its new home and like pat it down to try and get as much air out as possible. It's a messy process. I don't like doing it. It's usually just like for some sort of special event that I'm going to do this for like a friend or something.
So let's do this. Basic recipe for candle making. You want to make a candle at home? Here's what you do. Let's start with the base supplies that you have to pick up from somewhere and what you do with them. What do you do?
Well, starting with what you want as your wax, like I said, is that I'm still practicing with tallow and beeswax because I tend to burn it when I try and render it.
What's the difference?
The difference between what?
Tallow and beeswax.
Tallow is from animal fat.
Mm-hmm.
Beeswax is beeswax. So yeah, again, it goes back to I didn't want to waste things from an animal.
Does one
And
burn longer? Does one smoke more? Does one smell more? What's the difference?
Tallow tends to be in the olden day. It was the cheap, quick product. It was you can get your nice candle from like Bed Bath and Beyond, and it was like pretty and it smelled good and it had a clean burn and blah 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 blah. Versus the Walmart stuff,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like it kind of smells good, but it smells like really kind of chemically, and it leaves like a black scorch. The beeswax was sort of your wealthier, longer lasting one. It wasn't going to melt quite as quickly, and it could be used multiple times over. You can technically use the tallow one multiple times over as well. The
So-
tallow was going to melt a lot faster, and it wasn't going to like hold form. It was just kind of going to flop around. It was the poor man's candle.
So you know the dripless candles, like the plumber candles, what are they made out of?
I would think that those are made out of beeswax because that's what beeswax is. It holds a lot better.
Andrea?
I have no idea.
Fair. That's fair. Because I know What, Ed? Because I know Ed and I, as people that like, not survivalists, but survivalists. Let's go with that. You want to get plumber candles because they're like dripless.
The dripless and they put off heat.
Yeah.
And they burn for a long time.
Okay, I could see that. Well, there's also candles that burn to nothing. Like the candles I put in my menorah. When I light, they burn and there's nothing left.
Right.
A little bit of wick.
Right.
But it doesn't have puddles. That's
Right.
a different type of wax too. So
What kind of wax is it?
I have no idea.
Where do you get it? From the No Idea store?
Oh, I got it from Target.
Oh, Target. Fair. Target is fair. Yes.
But that's I was gonna do a last harvest with my bees, but I
Oh,
decided
wait.
I'm gonna just
Hold on. You have bees.
I've got 5 bee boxes.
Okay. Andrea started taking a local class and then COVID hit and they cut them off. So what I'm saying is, BFF, she might want to learn from you here.
I thought we were already
where are
there.
the bees? Yeah, it's just like, hey, you want to trade some bees?
Yeah, I mean, we're both into like the same hobbies, and we're both cool gals who are super sexy, just sitting here in the tavern, like
Fuck yeah.
just best friends already.
Yeah, see?
Get the program together.
No, I'm with the program. I'm just pointing at the program going, look, There's a thing. And by the way, Ed and I will take notes and fucking go, oh shit, we could do that.
Mm-hmm.
By the way,
I'm
ask Andrea about the size of her
believer that anyone can
loofahs.
learn these skills.
That's not candle making. That would be.
Yeah, we're tangenting. Totally tangenting.
Oh, so my loofahs are this big. It's still growing.
Now, Rachel, are you familiar with
I haven't grown
loofah in the natural form?
I am familiar. I've never tried to grow it.
So here's what I'm going to tell. I'm going to interrupt here. For everybody who doesn't know, loofah is not a sea sponge.
That's a sea sponge.
It's a sea sponge. A sea sponge is a sea sponge. This is a vegetable. The things you're scrubbing
It's a
your back
gourd.
with, ladies, it's a gourd that you grow. And like Andrea planted 4 seeds. And oh my God,
It's
these
taken over
things
the
have
yard.
taken over a 4-foot by 8-foot section. It's incredible.
But you dry them out. You peel off the outside, and you have. Some people eat loofah. I've never eaten it. I might try it this year. But you get this long baguette-looking type sponge.
Well, not in our case. A lot of curved.
But you get, and some people put it
Hey,
in soap.
there's nothing wrong with curves, Travis. Okay.
Nothing at all. You can hit the right places with that.
It's yeah, it's if you have a place for to hold on. If you have a place for your loofah to grow up, they'll grow straight. We have a few straight ones. Yeah, Bree, you're very excited. I know. These things are like dildo farm. It's fucking incredible. Andrea built this directional sign in our front yard. You know, Hobbiton, 10 kilometers that way, or Hogsworth, 50 miles that way, or whatever it is. It's got all the direction signs, and the loofahs are growing up there. And the ones growing up the sign are like these long, incredible, like 18-inch things. The ones that hit the ground, they're 18 inches, but they've got this like J shape. This curve shape that's...
G-spot finder.
You're not wrong.
Well, now I need to sell the loofahs.
Yep.
So you can eat a loofah?
Yes. I looked up recipes,
I didn't know
so
you could eat them.
Yeah.
What? Have you eaten
I
loofah?
didn't know that you could eat them. I didn't know you could eat them.
I looked up recipes. This may happen.
Yeah, we're gonna
It's a
try.
soft, spongy thing.
So like spaghetti
Stream
squash?
it, stream it, stream it.
Oh,
And-
probably.
No, Andrea, take over. Cooking show. Let's do it.
May happen.
Something about my bees before you
Mm.
tangent again. This is how much. Remember how I said my long hair is where I have all my Disney princess powers?
Right.
This is how much of Disney princess I am. And I think I posted on Instagram too. Is my bees will just let me pet them.
Oh.
Like I go up and I just like with a little and just like pet, pet, pet. Hi bee, how you doing? And then I have one box of mean bees, and they're just mean. They just wake up angry. And I put that bee box as close as I can legally to the neighbor I dislike. Let me tell you, this neighbor has like tried to hurt my animals, so there is a vendetta there. Like, do your duty.
We had a
And
neighbor
here's
that-
how mean they are.
How
is-
mean are they?
The guy who raised them and brought them over, when he was going to take off the straps because they were being transported, we was going to take off the straps. He took them off and bolted. Like that's how mean they are. They will chase you down. So the rest of them, no, my Disney princess powers work. I can just pet them.
I'm gonna send you. I think it's a TikTok of. Okay, we all know there's a black Ariel now, right? In the live action
Yeah.
Disney princess. And Ed, hey Jonathan, how are you? Good to see you popping in.
What up, Jonathan?
So we.
Yeah.
Basically it's white people reacting to a black Ariel and how they're like, oh my god, it's horrible. What about all the other white princesses like Jasmine and stuff like that?
Make believe people.
Yeah, it's Ed, I would send it to you, but it's on TikTok.
Mermaids aren't real. Disney princesses aren't real. Shut up.
It,
Just let it happen.
I sent it. I'll send it to you, Rachel. Again, now knowing you a little better, knowing you're not easily offended by white women jokes, because apparently, the visually,
Wait a minute.
Like, here's the funny
You
thing.
put her on the show with me, and you didn't know whether or not she was offended with white women jokes.
But the thing is too, when people hear I'm from Belize, there's a big expectation that I'm probably black, because that's the number one demographic for the country.
okay.
So this right here is the minority.
Oh, so
Okay.
you're just like skinned.
Yeah, I'm just
You're actually brown. It's it's a beautiful thing, folks. It's
like an onion. There's just layers.
that's one relief I still hold, that I can make fun of white people without offending anyone.
Oh
It's-
no, I'm offended.
Quiet down, white girl. Eat some pumpkin spice. It's but yeah, I'll send that over to you, Rachel. I'll find where I sent it from, and I'll send it over to you too. Are you on TikTok?
I'm not on TikTok.
She said that.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
8
that was 2 episodes ago.
seconds ago. I don't know, but I know I can take it and send it to other places. So yeah, it's just amusing. And the fact that it's mostly white people made this, with like black people and brown people and gay people like reacting to white people having a moment. So yeah, it's cute. It's cute. Um,
I don't know. I'm still waiting for Disney to make a movie about Princess Yanenga, because that was a princess, absolutely role model. And she is an African princess. They keep saying how they're going to make more black Disney princesses. I'm like, any minute now, it's going to be my favorite one. So, but it never happened.
you want to expand on that a little? You tell us about Princess
Um,
Yaninga?
Princess Yanenga. The footnotes version is she was a Central East African princess who was her father's best warrior with a spear. She was the best horse rider, and she was in line to take the throne.
They had horses in
Well,
Africa?
Yes.
That's how the story goes.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Odds
I'm just
are
educating
they
people by
migrated
playing
there from
stupid.
trade with Asia. But regardless, is after a long war had ended and she came out like, VIP of the war. She came out champion. Her father asked, my daughter, my best warrior, my greatest horse rider, my treasure, what can I do to reward you? And she's like, well, Dad, I'm kind of tired of fighting. You know what I really like? I'd like the throne and to have a husband. Like, just settle down. Which, kind of reasonable. Soldiers come home, that's what they want to do. They want to settle down. It
You know
shouldn't make
what?
any difference that she's-
That is incredibly fair, because most people are like,
Yeah.
no, strong woman doesn't need a man. You know what? We're fucking
she
human
just wants-
beings. We're animals.
She's
We
a
want to
soldier who
continue.
wanted to settle down. She's like, I did my tour, I did my time, I want to settle down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Which
she
I
doesn't
think is fair.
need. She wants.
Her
right.
father responded with, I'm not losing my best warrior to be some wife and mother. Like, no.
Oh,
So,
oh,
like,
oh.
That's
yeah.
the flip. Yeah,
he
they
was
should make
deeply
that.
offended. He's like, nope, just to make sure, there is no dowry. There is no bride price. That no one come near
TH3
my
Madhawk
greatest
Show
warrior.
just
Like, no.
subscribed with Twitch Prime.
So
Thank you
she
so much
tried
for your
to
incredible
convince
support.
him.
Love y'all to death.
And what had happened is he was not listening to words, as a stubborn father is wanting to do.
Mm-hmm.
So she tried to show him through a metaphor. And what she did, she took her spear and she started plowing the ground. And everyone's like, what the hell is Yanenga doing? I don't know. But she took her spear, plowed up this nice parcel of ground, grew wheat. And it was this beautiful, beautiful wheat. And her dad's like, oh man, like, look at my girl go. Like, not only is she like the greatest rider, the greatest warrior, like, she's beautiful, she can grow things. Like, my girl, my daughter, that's mine. Got it all. It's Dad. And then she lets it go to rot. She stops taking care of it. And her dad comes to, he's like, why did you let all that wheat go to rot? We could have traded that. We could have like made it into things. We could have done so much with it. Why did you let it rot? And she tells him, this is what you are doing to me. You brought me up to my greatest point, and now you will not let me thrive. You will just let me sit here and wither. And he gets upset with her. And he's like, you know what? The tower for you until you learn your lesson. You come back and apologize.
Wait, they had towers in Africa?
Yeah.
Metaphorically. It
I'm
was
with
the
you.
equivalent of sending her to her room for house arrest.
Mm.
And she just kind of was like, well, if I'm under house arrest, do I get the throne and a husband? He's like, no. So she has a best friend who was kind of her squire. And this guy is like BFF of the year. And he kind of convinces the king, let me talk to her. Because, sometimes you guys get heated. Let me see if I can bring her around. Which is kind of the ploy for him to kind of go and see, like, what's up? What can I do to help her? Because, yeah, the king's kind of like,
You want to know what's up, all right.
So he goes in there, and after like several exchanges, he keeps telling the king, "Oh, she's still in her mood. Like she's not gonna apologize. Let me keep trying." They plot how to get her to escape, how to get her free into the world because she is so unhappy. She doesn't want to be locked up forever. She doesn't want to be a warrior forever. She just wants her time of peace. So they start making this plan of how to just abscond. And he's like, "Girl, you can't do this alone. Like I know you're the greatest warrior, but all the other warriors are not going to just let you walk away." So they make this plan on how they're going to do it, and then there comes a moonless night where he's like, now's the time, because now is like the worst time for any of them to try and find out where we're going, because it's a lot darker. And they take out the guards together, BFFs of the year. He had horses waiting. They jump up, they're taking off. Very quickly, the king finds out, my daughter's running away, and sends out his best guard to go get her. And BFF of the year is like, Yananga, just go. Go. I'm going to take care of this. Go. We know he's not going to come back. BFF of the year. And he holds off the guard to let her escape. And she goes until her horse will carry her no more, and starts wandering around until she finds an elephant trainer. And this elephant trainer doesn't know who she is. Like, he's never met the princess. He's never seen her. And he offers her a place to rest, and he offers her food, shelter. He's like, wow, you don't look so good. Like, you look like you've been out here forever. Like, just showing genuine kindness. And after getting to know each other, because she kind of stays on to recover herself, and then she's helping him out with his little farm and his elephant training, she reveals herself to be Princess Unanga, and that she wants to marry him and just live a very quiet life. So she gets her man, she gets what she wants and what she's worked for in the end. And I think that's just role model goals. Is just don't let anyone stop you. Don't let anyone tell you like you have to continue to be a soldier. It's okay to have a time of peace in your life.
Yeah, it's very fair. And
So Disney, I'm winning.
I swear, if that was a guy in that story, it would have been made somewhere at some point in time. But because it's a female, in particular, a female of color.
You know what you can do? Go ahead and write the script.
That's fair.
Start it. There you go.
Today is a day and age where that should be like the thing that's like, hey, we have a strong female character with her own lore and story, and she's not, pasty as a snow. It should be like the perfect fit, and Disney is not brave enough to do it. So,
well,
I'm gonna start writing letters to Jeff Bezos. Hey,
Isn't
use your
Disney?
Amazon money, make a series.
go for Steven Spielberg. Where the hell is Dreamcast?
Works.
DreamWorks.
DreamWorks?
Isn't Disney doing the Woman Queen? I thought that was a Disney.
The Woman Queen?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
about
the Woman King?
the Woman King. I'm sorry.
No, who's doing that?
I thought Disney was doing that.
Here's what I'll tell you. In Disney, Andrea and I have noticed, not only in Disney, but particularly in Disney, there are so many Latino, Black, etc. stories coming out. There's almost like no white stories coming out. And that's something I'm like, oh, there's nobody I can relate to. On the other hand, Isn't that about fucking time? Isn't that fair?
I mean, I don't think it's relatability based on what someone looks like, because I loved Mulan and Pocahontas.
Yeah.
And I don't look like either of them. I was just like, here's some girl that likes to go running into the mountains and making animal friends. I like going running into the mountains and making animal friends. Plus, also fat hair girls, so.
You know what? As a white guy, I'm still like, I like that shit too. I love that shit.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Mulan was just like someone who she didn't fit in. She was kind of just awkward. She didn't have much to offer. She was just like a kind of social mess, but she was clever and she found creative solutions. I was like, I relate.
Yeah.
100%. I am a spicy disaster, but I read and I try and find clever solutions.
I adore you, Rachel, with all the things you're doing. As I've mentioned live on stream, as I've mentioned earlier in a different podcast that you were on, all the things you do are incredible and amazing, and how they relate to what Ed enjoys, what I enjoy, what Andrea enjoys. And here you are, like, just rolling right along, like I'm doing my fucking thing. Rachel, you're a role model. You know, we might flirt with you, we might say things,
think so.
but but you are.
You have the princess hair.
Well, there's truth there, yeah. You know, you're not worried about how you look to other people. You're doing what you want to do. And you're enjoying it, and you're finding the next thing to do. And by the way, Jonathan is, quote, stands up and applauds. Bree says, and you pet bees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a,
I mean, I think that's the level of ultimate power is when you can just pet a bee without fear and they just let you because you're friends.
yeah, there's a beauty in that. And then you also have wax, to bring it back to our actual topic for tonight. Making candles. So do you have like homemade honey and wax that you have access to that you can use?
Yeah.
Yeah, she has
Nice.
bees.
God damn it.
What?
I mean, I typically don't even really need to gear up to go and take anything. I just take like a really, really cold shower and wear bright colors. And you would think, well, why would you wear bright colors? Bees innately will think of if there's something moving to them in dark colors, it must be a bear.
Oh,
So I'd have to gear up.
So, yeah. So,
Ed's got to wear some heavy clothing to come in and get the wax and the
just
honey.
like wear like pink and green, like you're fine.
Like a flower.
If you come out the naked, like maybe, but
Especially if you walk like this. I'm coming to get the bee stuff. And I'm naked. That's no, would it be?
that's why bee suits are white. Is that it's not because it's cheaply made or something. It's that they don't associate this big white thing with being a bear. They're associating like brown and black and like dark mauve because it looks like brown.
I can't be a beekeeper.
I'm just saying there are some white guys with a lot of hair that people call a bear. But that's a whole different show. So let's wrap this up. Candlestick maker, candle maker. You can pick up the supplies. You can find it. You can make it. There's
You can
mold.
find them on Amazon.
Right. And then there's better ways to find it, but Amazon is a great starting place, or wherever you want to pick up. You know, whether it's like Andrea picking up spare scraps and building it. And I will say paraffin wax is great for pipes, tobacco pipes. It's what you actually coat them with after you make them. Fun fact.
Did not know.
Yeah, it's we use paraffin wax. I have a block of it back here in one of my cabinets. But anyhow, let's wrap up this show. Anybody got any closing thoughts for Candlestick Maker? Andrea?
Make some candles.
Ed?
It's hot.
Rachel?
My closing thoughts are: if you want to take up a hobby, if for no other reason than just you want to start it, absolutely don't let anything stop you. You have so many various ways to access it as a beginner to just start. Like, go on if you want to get your starter kit from Amazon. That's a great way to start. It will help you with all the supplies, and typically there's a tutorial so that you don't feel like you're doing this all by yourself. You never have to do it all by yourself. So you can absolutely 100% start this hobby and let there be fire.
Absolutely. You guys have a great night. Closing toast is, here's to those that make and create. Here's to you guys.